Hello, welcome back to another video here on my channel. My name is Simran Nath, for those of you who don't know me. November was absolutely crazy for me. I am finally settling down. I want to close out 2022 kind of just sharing with you all major lessons that I've learned throughout this year. We're going to start off the series by sharing one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned this year, which is to trust yourself. I think learning to trust myself has been one of the most valuable lessons that I have learned thus far. And that has taken a lot of time because this might sound odd, but I never knew what it meant to trust myself. I think that people always say oh, listen to your intuition, listen to your instincts, trust your gut. And all of that sounds good in theory, right? But it's just what happens when you actually start practicing that? When you get really consumed in the day-to-day life, I think it becomes harder to trust yourself, because when you are caught up in the day-to-day, whether that's work, family, school, whatever the case is, and you're not taking enough time for yourself, really grounding yourself, being present and understanding what it is that you need in order for you to kind of grow, it becomes hard to trust yourself. So that is step one. Ensure that you are coming from a place where you feel grounded, coming from a place where you know that okay, the decisions that I'm making for myself are solely influenced by me, not by what society thinks I should be doing, not what my family thinks I should be doing, not what my friends think I should be doing, but it's actually what you want. And getting to that place is hard. Once you're able to trust yourself, you're able to take greater risks. And I'm a big risk taker. I don't know about y'all, but some people like to gamble their money. I like to gamble everything else. And that's the truth. I have taken major risks in my career this year. I've taken major risks in some personal decisions, taken risks in just putting myself out there and being vulnerable. I have trusted that sharing my process in going through my breakup journey would help other people. And a lot of you have confirmed that. So, hey, cheers to that, right? Trusting yourself really comes down to one really core concept, and that is being honest with yourself. And this is really where confidence comes from. Confidence, I really think, comes from just telling yourself that you're going to do something and being able to do it. How well can you trust your own word? Can you imagine the amount of power, the amount of freedom that you would have for yourself if you constantly showed up for yourself? Right? Just think about how much weight that holds for yourself. It's just knowing that I'm gonna do what I say I'm gonna do, and just watch me. Create goals and plans that you want to accomplish for yourself and do it. And don't try and go from 0 to 100 in 24 hours. Take it bit by bit. Create small goals for yourself. Even just taking time out the night before and creating a task list of things that you need to get done, and referring back to that task list the next day, that same week or whatever, and checking those things off. There's a reason these things help. It's because it helps you stay accountable for yourself. It's so funny. I literally have this post-it on my laptop that I put this week. It says, weekly reminder, hold yourself accountable to your goals. And I think this is probably just me foreshadowing my past self, foreshadowing what I actually wanted to talk about this week. But it's true, you have to hold yourself accountable to your goals. And I don't know if you remember me saying this earlier this year, but I think in some of my earlier videos when I first started making videos like this, I did say one of my goals this year is to hold myself more accountable. And I hope my journey has kind of shown you that as well. Even though I haven't been as consistent over the last few months in terms of putting content out and creating videos and showing that, I'm still showing up for myself in this sense, and still putting creating content to put out there, because this is something that is important to me, and this is something that I want to do, and this is something that I want to share with people. That's all I'm trying to do, is just share my story in whatever capacity makes sense for me. And if that helps somebody, start their own business, start their own thing, whatever the case is, do it. I'm here for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm cheering you on. But hold yourself accountable. Figure out what it is you want to do and do something towards that every single day. And maybe you don't know what you want to do. Maybe you're shit, I have no idea where I'm trying to go in the next year, in the next 5 years, whatever the case is. And that's fine. I want you to know that that's totally fine. But what do you want to do tomorrow? What do you have to do tomorrow? You gotta fold your clothes. You gotta empty out the dishwasher. You gotta, meal plan. What do you have to do? Do you have to work out? Right? Start small. Start small. Like, create these small steps for yourself, and it'll take you to where you want to be. But in order to do that, you have to be present, you have to be grounded, you have to be able to be in tune with yourself. And that gets hard. There are times when you're going to like be outside of your element, and there are times when you're not going to feel like yourself. And you have to like remember to go back to the basics and do the things that make you feel like you again. Trusting yourself means just that. It's not trusting what other people think is right for you. It's not trusting what everyone else has done in your like family or communities that you think is right. It's like truly doing what's right for you, because every single person is so uniquely different, and everyone has their own stories, and everybody is on their own path. There is no one size fits all to any of this. So knowing which way to go on your path really means being able to listen to yourself, trusting yourself, and going forward in that path that makes sense for you. And it could be non-traditional. You know, maybe your path is going to start at 37 instead of 27. Maybe your path started at 16, you know, and now you're like ahead of the curve, or whatever the case is. Like, trust the process. I'm gonna leave it at that, because that's gonna leave a segue into next week's video. But thank you for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel, to this video. You know what I'm trying to say. It's been a while. Clearly I'm like a little rusty, but I hope you guys like this video. I'll see you next week.